Hello viewers, Lance Mechanics here today, and I'm going to be reviewing the Mucar 892 BT scan tool. And the awesome thing here is I can compare it to the Thinkcar one, and there are subtle differences, but one's definitely more for a professional, one's for the DIYer. They both do amazing, but we're going to lean into one more today, and I'll show you why. So I've been a mechanic for about 15 years now, and these two scan tools are some of the best I've ever used in the industry. I've had this one way longer. They sent me when it was just coming out, they sent it right to me, and I just got this one and I've been using it for a month. And both these scan tools come with accessories. So you have key programming, we'll try on the BMW here at a future date, and I asked them to send the camera with me for this one. Both these accessories work between the tools, so pick your poison. So we're going to start with the obvious here. This is the same shell with some color differences. So this one's blue, which I prefer, and this one has the brown and red. Magnetic OBD2 wireless connector, same thing here. It's got the little flip out here, so you can stand it up accordingly. Do this one too. I know this is a rough video here. I know this is what you like as viewers. There, they both sit the same. They're very identical. Different screens, more options. This one comes with a screen protector, anti-scratch thing. This one didn't. Earlier model, I can't say if they did it on the later models, but there is one little imperfection here. Maybe I'll put it in a picture, because they put the screen protector on. There's a little bit of dirt right here, and you can see the bubble. No biggie. I'll let it slide. It happens. So let's boot these up, and so I'll just hit the power button. I'll try and get the least amount of glare here. Well, this is booting up. I'll talk about this. This being the newer model, I can tell you that the molds have gotten way better. There's a lot less, how can I say, mold impressions, sharp edges, whereas I guess when these ones came out, the molds were so new. It's kind of weird. The more you use something, the more worn it gets, actually the better it feels. It's kind of odd, but great. So yeah, here, they boot it up. We'll go through here. This has the auto search. Get out of the glare here. Diagnose, OBD2, history, report, feedback, dollar fix community. Everybody's having some type of community these days. And this one, MUAI, Intelligent Assistance. Think of it like ChatGPT. Here's the older one, VinSearch, Auto Scan, Diagnose, OBD2, History, Report, and Feedback. So a few more options here. It still has the Assistant, or scan the QR code. Same thing here. Very simple. So we're going to go in. My car, I killed the battery. So we're going to go, before I go to the Jeep, I went under maintenance, and as you can see here, we have enter, coverage list, and tutorials, whereas in the old one, we had the enter and coverage list. So this may be a little more, well, I'll need the internet, I'll have to get near my house, maybe a little more friendly to the DIYer, because we have all these options, and these options can be powerful. If you click the wrong option, and let's say you somehow erase the SRS information in your module, it lets you do that on a scan tool, but for some reason, like a Volvo, you can't program it without a dealer scan tool. Then you're in a world of hurt and you're going to the dealer. So tutorials, even for the professionals, are a good thing to have. That's right, you're getting some Jeep action today. So side note on the Jeeps, because they're using the gate network access thing from Chrysler, Daimler, whatever the hell they're called these days. It sucks. It's a Jeep product, but whatever. So you got to pay to get into their security system, and it's just the norm now. It's a money grab. I don't expect any scan tool to have access to that because it's a subscription. So just go with the flow. Chrysler products are a pain in the ass right now. Yada yada. We'll go from there. Yeah, this seems to be working pretty good. I may not have downloaded everything, so whatever. But I'm liking it so far. So I'm just gonna hit. All right, so I downloaded it. It's reading it as a Jeep now. Go figure. Just a little blurb. Things happen, and we'll continue. So I just performed an auto search. It's pretty normal to me. So that, see, it's talking about the gateway there. We're in North America. I don't have the password. I don't have the subscription, so we're going to use unlimited functions without unlock. And yes, continue. So I always do an auto scan. Hold on. No. Okay, anyways, I always do an auto scan. It tells you what modules are on the bus. It tells you what's equipped. So now it's pinging all the modules. I'm going to have some random ABS, all these lights. It's communicating. It's a J1939 common protocol, and it's simple. So this will tell me what's on the vehicle. It is running Sometimes having a vehicle running can actually interfere with this, but we're gonna see what happens. It didn't tell me to shut it off. And there, that's all the modules it can see on the bus without the CAN network gateway. That's awesome. Sometimes modules are populated no matter what. There's some brands out there that are bad. It'll give you a million options and you're like, well, this basic car is not equipped with this, and you gotta kind of go through and do all the nibby-nabby stuff that you don't like doing. So we're gonna go into PCM here. Some people like seeing what functions they have. I like seeing the PIDs. PIDs are where I do all my diagnosing. I really don't care about reset functions because that does nothing for me. So you wanna see read data stream. And I always say select all. This thing's so responsive. So we'll see good view here. I'm not sure how this turns up in camera. A lot of this will mean nothing to some people, so yeah. Pause if you want to see some specific data. O2 sensors, that's very common for the generic DIYer. Go figure. AC high side, simple test. I always check the coil, but if you see no pressure there, you know the compressor isn't on or it's not engaged or there's no pressure in the system. Great check visually, but you can do it visually if you lift your hood, but it's nice to see extra identificators. Ambient empter, temp sensor, voltage, that's nice. Usually you just get the reading. It depends what they call it. Barometric pressure, base spark, because we're at idle. Catalysts, minus, yeah, whatever. Crank sync, nothing interesting here for me. RPM, yeah, that's about right. I think I'm at about 700. I know it's about 600. I'll let you be the judge of that. EVAP cycle counters, fuel tank pressure, great, it's under vacuum. Fuel tank pressure volts, vacuum, 22 gallon, nice to know the size of your fuel tank. So it's half full right now. So fuel tank vapor volume, yeah, whatever. Generator dual cycle, she's commanding 40% out of the alternator. Ignition off time, yeah. Injector pulse width, EULA seconds. I'm bad with the measurements here. Intake charge, map vacuum, perfect. Mass airflow, 33 pounds an hour. Damn you, Dodge. Hold on. Can we change that? I'm all about grams per second. Why? Pounds per hour. Yikes. Standard range. Jesus. What are they thinking? Oh boy. Yeah, I don't even want to know. Let's get out of here. By the way, this having that right there makes this so nice to have on the scan tool. I can actually think here. Thinking is important when you're diagnosing. If you're trying to fiddle around with your fingers and stuff, So, here's a good one. I've troubleshot many wheel speed sensors. You'll see here, right here, it'll go 1 mile per hour, 2 mile per hour. It'll throw an ABS light while you're parked. That's a good sign of a fail. And yeah, this is general stuff. I find this one, it's harder to read for someone who's not used to this, but it's still very, very good. Let's check the graphing here on this min-max. Oh, I don't want to put anything. I thought it would have auto. It's not going to show back from when it started. So it's going to graph from where you click into it. So you got to have these up and open before you start a vehicle if you're going to start graphing. It is a lot of data for a scan tool to hold if you're not there right away. So, exhaust cam difference. Let's see. Give you a little exhaust here, gas. Boom. And then it's going to come back up. Perfect. And idle, flatline. Little things like that. You could check an exhaust cam difference, or you can check a working or failed exhaust cam actuator. If you're not sure if it's a mechanical or electrical, you just can jump in and start troubleshooting. It's nice to see this data. So I'm in special functions right now. Brake pedal relearn, cam relearn, check PCM, odometer, great features, clear engine auto restart crank counter. So you do that when you put in a new starter. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't even know that's an option. That's important because it identifies wear on your starter. Cool EGR system, enable emissions rollback, test mode, yeah. Cleaning. This is an important feature these days. Carboning happens no matter how good you are on oil changes. And why replace thousands and thousands of dollars in cam phasers? There's 4 on this specific model. It's a 3.6 liter. 2 cam phasers per bank, intake and exhaust. Clean it. If you can get through with the cleaning, run your cleaner through the engine, do your oil change, activate these things, you can save thousands. The best prevention is more oil changes, but that's not always enough. You have to run your vehicle long and hard, and that's why my vehicles last long, because I drive them like I stole them. And yeah, sorry for that. Learn ETC, PCM, all the basics here. And then you have your basic stuff on testing. For me, the one I'm in here a lot for is purge system vapor tests, or EVAP systems. Some people do a O2 heater test. Honestly, if it's reading 0 in the scan tool data and you got voltage at the pig end tail connector, the heater's done. It's pretty obvious. Ejector coil test, that's going a step further. You can check if maybe you have flow issues and you need to kill an injector and see if the misfire changes or doesn't change. If it doesn't change, good chance your injector could be gone. Little things like that you just pick up over the years, but very basic standard testing as an automotive technician. DIYers might not be into it, but you'll learn. If you have these tools, you will learn. I'm into the transmission control module now. It's all pretty basic. I don't spend a lot of time in here. Usually by the time the transmission comes to me, it's pretty screwed up. It's pretty obvious. The fluid is burnt black. First thing I can do is flush the system a few times, reset the parameters, and road test it and see how it works. But a lot of the time as a technician, this is very rare. I'll be in here, and when I am in here, I'm studying this, I'm focusing it, I'm trying to see which band or gear it's selecting, or what the pressures are, what are the milliamps, clamping pressures, all that stuff. You want to see the pressure transducers, which are very common in a transmission. And it's very simple. There's a lot of TSBs. Even though I don't spend too much time in transmissions, as a dealership technician, I was doing a lot of updates in transmissions, pulling valve bodies, changing out valves and stuff. But to be in there, it's not critical. It may help the average person. Where we're gonna go is the BCM. It's the little things that really annoy people. We're in actuation test. This is where I spent a lot of time as a dealership technician. Having control of your BCM, or body control module, where you can do simple things like activate a tail light or change a horn, or simple things like if I activate the horn here, I know the circuit past right here is working, and that is valuable information because it just eliminated physically where I need to go, and it's a time saver. Some people don't spend a lot of time in here, but this is where I would. So like if I can't, let's say I can't open a door with a key fob on one side, and I can't open it with the door, but it works with here. What would you think it would be? Well, the common issue would be a connection right there at your master door switch thing. And some people may go down, they may say, oh no, you need a you need a door actuator, and it's little things like that that you just pick up over time. And this is a time saver. Being able to come in here and do that kind of thing, awesome. Same with front washer pump, license plate bulbs. It's amazing the amount of power you have in here. We'll check system test. Not interesting. And data stream, there might be some here for little things. Select all actuator data, that could be. We're not exactly in HVAC, but so you know, horn switch pressed, ignition, steering wheel, turn faults, brake level switch, like important stuff. These are gonna be the complaints that a lot of people are gonna have, and this is where you need to get good at as a technician, I say. It's the little things. The little things will annoy customers to no end, and when you solve this stuff, they think you're a magician. We're gonna see what else on special functions, change country code, and immobilizer ECU. Yeah, we don't have Canon network data. So I think that's pretty simple for this. Let's go try some. It gave me the warning, but I still ignored it. Don't forget your dongle. By the way, that is awesome. I know it does that on this one there, but I love that. So we're gonna play with the camera now, and it comes with a bunch of cool stuff. Mirrors, little hooks there if you need to pull something out. This one has an adjustable light, camera option. It feels good. So let's hook it up and just kind of, you know. So for some people out there, I'll show you how to get into the Videoscope menu. You go to More, or this, Module, and then it's right here under Videoscope, Oscilloscope, Printer, BLE Battery Tester, TPMS Relearn Tool. There's a lot of options for these tools, so we're gonna click there. Okay, And we'll see what we got. It's got a, here, I'll put it here just so you can see the light. I turned it off. Multitasking. Does the light show up? There we go. So you can see the light as I slowly dim it down. That's awesome. And there's a button here to take a picture. Let's see if I can hold it. There, you even hear the little snapshot. So let's go stick this in the engine bay and see what it does. So a camera is an amazing tool. I've had one for years. I have varying iterations of it between sponsors and buying my Milwaukee one. So why would you as a DIYer want one? Well, take this for example. I changed this electronic water pump a few months ago, and it's been here heat soaking and getting use out of it and stuff. And let's say, oh, stay there. That's not an interesting feature. I'm gonna have to turn that off in settings. You think having the endoscope would just eliminate that. So back to point is, you get to check for leaks and stuff and hard to reach areas if you don't see. So common thing as an automotive technician is you can smell it, but you don't see it. Engine gets hot enough, burns off the coolant, but you never see it. And to go in and rip things apart is time consuming, costs money, time and effort. So having a camera, I can look on, let's say the thermostat housing, I can look for burnt off coolant because it's going to leave a residue of color and things like that. Or you can reach into far, hard to reach areas in an HVAC blower motor unit and see things. You can see actuations, you can see noises. I know, right? You can see noises, but as you see something move and you hear that noise as something moves, you're technically seeing it. So great tool to have. Always have one in your arsenal. This one's pretty darn cheap for what it is. Comes with the tool, it's set up for the tool. Go for it. So I don't have all the accessories yet. I'm hoping they'll send me the TPMS and the oscilloscope. A printer's a printer, I mean, and the battery tester one day. See as things go. They sent me 2 scan tools already. So overall, a lot of things are the same as the other one, but this one is way, way better, I find, for a technician. For whatever you want, I'd say go for whatever one's cheaper. They're both powerful. This one's, again, more technician friendly. I'm liking it. And I'm a blue kind of guy. I like blue. This thing's nice. It has a screen protector. It's very, very friendly to use. They're powerful scan tools. Love them. So yeah. So if you made it this far in the video, one thing I always say as a disclaimer is you got to research what your vehicle can handle. If you need a scan tool, you're in a pinch, just don't go out and buy anything. Look up this brand. See what the coverage list is. This is huge. A lot of tools will say what they can cover and then you get it and they don't. So find a video with, like, let's say your vehicle on top of that, vet out it, do the process, save some money. I'm all for helping people. This scan tool is powerful. I've used the other one, the Thinkcar, for at least a year now. I'm loving this Mucar one. It's in my scope of work. It's more for professionals, I find, and I'm hoping they'll send me a bigger one eventually, and you guys may help with that. Anyways, Lance Mechanics, if you want to see more in-depth troubleshooting, unfortunately my Jeep just doesn't break, and I know that sounds wrong there, but it's a pretty solid vehicle. I'll get into more troubleshooting and we'll get to use this in more vehicle videos. Till then, have a good one. Watch some of my other videos here and there. It helps out the channel. Thank you for watching. Take care.